Hey everyone, today's video is going to be my Sainsbury's Christmas taste test and my last Christmas taste test of 2020. If you've not seen my last haul video, I will leave a link to that in the description, but in that video I show you everything that I picked up and the prices and everything. And then in today's video I'm going to be trying it for you guys and letting you know my thoughts. So if you have seen that haul video, you will know that I have already tried one of the things that I was going to be trying in this video, the kettle cheese and onion crisps. I have demolished most of the bag by now in probably like less than 15 minutes or so. These are definitely so good, so Moorish, and it's so nice to have like a normal crisp brand. Like I feel like Kettle is probably one of the most recognised crisp brands in the UK. Bring out a vegan option that is like a vegan cheese option. It's not one that just happens to be accidentally vegan. Big fan of these. I'm definitely going to be repurchasing them. They're not particularly festive, but I'm so glad that I picked these up as part of that haul. I figured because I'd already started on the crisps, it makes sense to try the other crisps that I picked up. The next one being these Pigs and Blankets flavoured tortilla trees. These are so cute. I'm so obsessed with anything that is tree shaped. I think I mentioned in the haul video, but I've not tried any Pigs and Blankets flavoured crisps before. If you've seen my other taste test, you'll know that I've tried Pigs and Blankets flavoured peanuts, which I just don't think is the same. So intrigued to see if these actually taste like Pigs and Blankets. This is what they look like. They are so cute. I feel like tortilla chips are gonna have to be in fun shapes like all year round now. I just don't think I'm gonna be satisfied with like a normal triangular tortilla chip from now on. Obsessed with these little Christmas tree ones. I have tried some from Aldi in a previous taste test, which were turkey and stuffing flavour, which I ended up being a huge fan of. I ate those so quickly. Again, they were so Moorish. So I will see if these Pigs and Blankets ones are the same. That flavour is miles apart from the Pigs and Blankets peanuts that I tried before. That is how I imagined a Pigs and Blankets flavoured thing to taste like. I will say the flavour isn't like hugely overwhelming, but I do think that's because I've just tried these kettle crisps and the flavour on these is very strong. So I think this is making those ones taste a little bit more plain, but the overall flavour tastes what I would expect. It's got that sort of smoky bacon flavour, like bacon rashers crisps if you've had those before, but there's also like another flavour going on, which I'm guessing is the sausage. Just a very herby taste, which together with the bacon tastes so nice. Yeah, I'm a really big fan of those. I would probably give them like a 9 out of 10. Definitely going to demolish this whole bag very quickly. And I'm so glad that I like them because I accidentally ordered 2 packets of these in my Sainsbury's delivery. So I was going to be really gutted if they tasted gross, but I'm definitely a big fan. I feel like as like a little Christmas nibble in a bowl on the table while you're waiting for your Christmas dinner, I feel like these are going to be the perfect thing for that. And then the final crisp thing that I picked up are these free from honey roast gammon flavoured tortilla curls. So more tortilla chips. These are labelled as vegan, as are the Pigs and Blankets one, which is always nice, particularly when it's like a meaty flavour. Just knowing that it's definitely vegan is always reassuring. These don't have a lot of smell to them at all. I literally can't smell anything. And they're definitely not quite as cute as the Christmas tree ones. Oh, that's weird. I don't know how I feel about those. Okay, so I definitely prefer the Pigs and Blankets Christmas trees over these, but these aren't bad in any way. They're just not like any crisp flavour I think I've had ever. The first flavour that I got was like a slight bacon rasher taste, but very different to the Pigs and Blankets one. But then it kind of goes sweet, which I guess is the honey aspect. But then there's like a different flavour going on. Looking at the ingredients, there looks like there's clove, cinnamon and pimento in this, which I'm assuming is the like third flavour I can taste where I just don't know how to feel about it. I'm pretty sure those are flavours that you would put on a ham, which makes sense as to why they're in this crisp packet. But I've obviously not had ham before, so I have nothing to compare this to. And to me, it just tastes like a slightly unusual flavour. Yeah, I'm so unsure. I think they might be the kind of crisps that would grow on me. I think I would definitely get through this whole bag if they were in front of me. But if I had to pick between these, the Pigs and Blankets Christmas trees and the cheese and onion crisps, I'd probably pick the Christmas trees, then the cheese and onion crisps, then these. But again, this is just probably my palate because I don't think there's anything wrong with them. They just taste a little bit odd to me. I have just made myself a cup of tea, so I feel like it's the perfect time to try these Cadbury Bourneville fingers. I'm so excited about this, honestly. I said in the haul video how I like to eat these. Essentially, they become an edible straw for tea. So if you've not tried this before, I definitely recommend it. It also works really well with things like Twixes. I obviously can't have them anymore now that I'm vegan, but if there's like a vegan Twix alternative, you just have to bite off the ends and then you suck the tea through the Twix, and it's so good because then you get like the hot melted caramel as well. But I'm going to see if it works with these dark chocolate fingers. These are going to satisfy a craving that I've literally had for the last 4.5 years. I've missed chocolate fingers more than I ever thought I would. It's not one of those things that I thought about when I became vegan that I would miss, but they're just one of those like super moreish biscuits that once you have one, you pretty much eat the whole pack. So I'm going to see if this works with my little straw technique. If you've not done that before, honestly, you're really missing out. You have to get the timing right though, because if you leave it too long, it will just fully disintegrate into your drink. But if you get it like the perfect moment, then the biscuit is all soft, the chocolate's all melted. It's great. I think people also do it with penguin bars, but I've not tried that before. I don't know how it works with like a wider, flatter biscuit, but I'm literally so happy. These are like a solid 10 out of 10. I mean, if you like Bourneville chocolate, which I definitely do, and if you like chocolate fingers, then you're going to be a big fan of these. It is now almost 7 o'clock, and somehow this evening I've ended up with somewhat of like a 3-course meal for dinner. So for my starter element, I've got all of the party food to try. If you've seen the haul video, you'll know that I'm a little bit skeptical about trying a few of these things. They're definitely things that I haven't tried before I was vegan. I haven't tried anything like it since being vegan, so I'm not really sure what to expect. I think I'm going to start with the tempura prawn, just because this is the thing that I'm least scared to try. I have tried a couple of vegan prawns in a couple of my previous Christmas hauls, and I wasn't a huge fan of them, but they never taste awful. They just don't taste that great. So even if this is bad, I'm hoping it can't be too bad. This is what it looks like on the inside. There's quite a thick layer of batter on there, which I am definitely not complaining about because the batter tastes really good. This is definitely so much better than any of the other vegan prawns I've tried so far. The Tesco ones in my last taste test were like the biggest disappointment of all time. I also tried some from Asda, which weren't awful. They just didn't really have like a whole lot going on. These, again, they're not like overpowering with flavour or anything like that, but for what they are, I feel like they're really good. There is like a little bit of flavour going on, which I'm assuming is like a prawn flavour. I wouldn't know because I've not eaten prawns in years, but it tastes really nice. I really like the texture of it. I feel like this type of batter works so much better than the breadcrumbs that were on the Tesco ones. I also think like the consistency of the filling, which I think is mushroom and jackfruit, is a lot better than the last ones that I've tried. So overall, I feel like I'd give these maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. They're not mind-blowing, but they are definitely a lot better than the other ones that I've tried. Next, I'm going to try one of the little fish and chip bites. So this is a piece of vegan battered fish, topped with mushy peas, and then topped with a chip. So bizarre, so baffling. How someone came up with this as a concept for party food, I have no idea. Pretty sure they don't make like non-vegan versions of these, so I don't know why this was their vegan suggestion for this year, but we'll give it a taste. That's pretty odd. The texture of the fish in this is definitely not the best I've had. I've had like a few vegan fish fingers, fish fillets and things like that since going vegan, and the texture of those have been a lot better than what this is. It's just very, very mushy. There's also like not a lot of flavour going on at all. I would have figured that the mushy peas at least would have brought some flavour, but it's just a little bit bland. I think overall it's not as bad as I was expecting it to be, but it's also just not that great either. And then the final party food thing that I've got to try are these little pork bites. You can kind of see all of the layers on it, which is a little bit weird. It does look quite realistic, in my opinion, to this kind of thing that I've seen in the past. It doesn't have a super strong smell. It kind of smells like the hoisin duck spring rolls I've had from pretty much every supermarket this year, but these are meant to be barbecue flavored like belly bites, so I think that's why it's like crispy and soft, because I think it's meant to be like crackling potentially. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is what the texture is meant to be like, but it's like so wet in the middle. It's like gooey. I'm not sure if I did anything wrong with the cooking of these. I did cook them from frozen, and it says that if you freeze them, you should defrost them before you cook them. But normally when instructions say that, I don't really listen, and it doesn't really make any difference. So I don't know if that's potentially what's caused this. I'm gonna try another one to see if the texture's the same in the middle. Yeah, I have no idea why it's like that. Even looking at it makes me feel a little bit sick. I just am not a fan of that texture at all. I really like the top texture, and I really like the bottom texture where it's like crispy, but I don't know why it has to have like some sort of goo in the middle. Also, flavour wise with this one, it doesn't have a very strong flavour. I'm not getting a huge amount of barbecue, so I don't know where that's meant to be coming from. Again, it doesn't taste bad. Not a fan of the texture. It doesn't have a flavour that I would necessarily want to reach for, but it's not like a disgusting flavour in any sense. I would probably give these like a 5 out of 10. Again, we'll eat them, but I wouldn't buy them again. I just think that inside texture is so weird. Like, why does it look like it has caramel in it? That is so weird. I'm about to try my main course for this evening, which is not nutritionally balanced in the slightest. I have kept the cauliflower cheese and the potato dauphinoise in their containers for no reason other than laziness, to be honest. Looking at them now, I definitely shouldn't have bought both. They both smell so similar, and it would have just been a difference of cauliflower versus potato, I think. So I'm really hoping I like them, because if I don't, that's like two things that I probably won't like. I will say the smell is a little bit off-putting. It smells very strong and not particularly nice in my opinion. The sauce also looks a little bit weird. It doesn't look like cheese sauce. It looks a little bit plasticky. This is the cauliflower cheese, and it definitely looks the prettiest. I think the potato dauphinoise got bashed around a little bit. So that one doesn't look too bad, but I don't think this one looks particularly appetizing. So we will see what these taste like. I think I'm going to start with the cauliflower cheese. I just don't know how to feel about this sauce texture. Made sure I've got a little bit of everything on here. I've got some of the parsley breadcrumbs. Also, this literally has just come out of the oven, so it is incredibly hot, as you can probably see. I think I'm going to try both before I share my thoughts, just to see if they do taste identical. Yeah, I don't think I'm a huge fan of this, which is so disappointing. They definitely taste like how they smell, which is just not a flavour I'm a big fan of. Not sure what it is. I don't know if it's like the vegan cheese flavour that they use that just doesn't really work. Yeah, I think I would have to rate both of these like a 3.5, 4 out of 10, maybe if I'm being generous. I just am not a fan of the flavour. I mean, like texture wise, they're cooked fine, the consistency is fine. The sauce consistency isn't fine. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't like the way the sauce looks. But it's the taste that's mainly putting me off. There's just something in it that I don't like the flavour of. I also think like homemade tastes 1,000,000% better than this. Like the cauliflower cheese I made the other day for my Christmas dinner video was so much nicer than this one. The sauce was a better consistency, the flavours were nicer. Overall, I think if you're going to make one or buy one, I would make one if you have the means to, because this isn't worth like the £2.50. It's not super expensive, but it's just not nice, so I would not buy it again. I'm not going to waste these though. I will finish them at some point this week, probably with like a whole lot of gravy or another flavour going on to try and cover it up, because yeah, I'm not a fan. Gonna be honest, I'm feeling a little bit cheesed out after all that, so it's not really ideal that my dessert this evening is a literal cheese board. I've got the Violife Epic Dairy Free Festive Platter, and then I've also got the Plant Pioneers Wensleydale style with cranberries to try. Now, I don't know what to do about this, because I definitely want to save some for Christmas Day. These say they only last a week, but I'm sure I've had them open longer in the past. It's currently 2 weeks until Christmas, so I'm trying to decide whether it's worth risking opening them all now, then potentially not being good for Christmas Day, or do I just open a couple, and then if they're bad, it doesn't matter if I've lost a couple, because I still have a couple that aren't opened. I think that might be the route I'm going to go down, just because I'm not feeling super cheesy at the moment anyway, so the thought of having 4 different types of cheese is a little bit much. I am definitely going to try this little Plant Pioneers one, just because it's so blooming cute. I actually have no idea how this works. I mentioned in the haul video that it was the packaging that kind of attracted me to this, because it is so cute and it would look so nice on a cheese board. But thinking about it, I actually have no idea how you cut into this. Like, do you just cut the wax? Is that me being really stupid? I'm just gonna cut into the wax. If you guys are watching this and cringing, I'm really sorry. It's my cute little cheese wedge. The wax actually comes off super easy. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't like this, but just the same as a lot of people wouldn't eat the non-vegan version of this. Like, some people just don't like sweeter cheeses. This definitely has like a lot of sweetness coming from the cranberries, but so good. Okay, so moving on to the festive platter. I don't know which one to try, because I'm excited about trying all of them. The mature one I'm excited about trying, because I might start buying like the regular block of that. It's my like normal cheese if it's good. I have heard like a lot of good things about it, but I don't know if picking that one is like a little bit boring. The smoked one, I mean, I've not tried any of these, but the smoked one, I have tried the applewood smoked cheese, so I'd be interested to know how this compares. And then the garlic and chili one, I've not tried anything similar to that, so that might be a fun wild card. I'm just so bad at decisions. Maybe I should try all of them. I just don't see this going out of date in 7 days. But then if it does, I'm gonna absolutely kick myself on Christmas Day. How the heck does this packaging work? What? These actually all seem like such decent portions as well. I think sometimes with cheese wars, they give you such like a tiny amount because they can get away with it, because you're getting like a few different cheese options. But this is like a hefty block of cheese. I think I'm going to be boring and I'm going to go with the Epic Mature, just because if I do need to finish this up in the next 7 days, I'm more likely to have food that I can use like plain cheese on than I am like a chili cheese or a smoked cheese. I wish all of Violife's cheese packets were like this, because I don't know if you guys have had Violife before, but they're normally such a nightmare to get into and you end up like stabbing it with a knife to death. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't hate it, but it's giving me weird flashbacks to the first time I ever bought Violife cheese. Like my first ever vegan cheese experience, when I'd just gone vegan, would have been eating like normal cheese the day before, so like the taste of normal cheese would have been really strong in my head, which is always what I recommend against doing if you're turning vegan. Like, don't go straight from normal cheese to vegan cheese, because it will probably taste gross. You need to like forget what normal cheese tastes like before you try vegan cheese, in my opinion. But I remember having this Violife cheese and thinking it was the most revolting thing I've ever tasted in my whole life. And I'm not one to waste food, but that whole block ended up going mouldy in my fridge because I just couldn't eat it. I think I spat it out when I first tried it, so this is what that's making me think of, which makes me wonder if I had a mature one back then, but I don't think this even existed back then, so that's so weird. I sort of think this tastes like the cheese strings that you used to get that weren't the cheese string brand. I think they were like more squared. If you guys know what I'm talking about, leave it in a comment below, because I have not had those in years. I used to not like them because I was like a team cheese string kind of person. But I know that some people in their packed lunches had like these square cheese strings that were like a pale yellow colour. And I feel like this tastes like what that cheese used to taste like. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that one. So I think that is going to be everything that I'm going to try in today's video. Once I've tried those other cheeses from that cheese board, I will let you guys know what I think. Overall, I feel like today's been a mixed day. Really liked some of the crisps, really liked the chocolate fingers. Party food was a little bit naff. Those 2 bakes were just not very nice. And then the cheese has been a little bit meh as well. I do think I'd probably prefer the other 2 cheeses, so I'm not going to completely mark it down because I did only try 1 of the 3 from that Violife pack. So overall, it's been a little bit of a mixed day. I actually can't believe this is going to be my last Christmas taste test of 2020. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed these. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.